Good morning. What's up, Instagram? This is Melvin with Integrity Air and Home Inspection coming to you live. I know I'm a little bit more excited today. That's because I've had a week of vacation. We went to Hawaii. We enjoyed ourselves. We spent a lot of money. We lost a lot of money. Not because I wanted to, but just because that's what you do when you're on vacation. But to get to the point, I'm back. We're ready to go. It's the end of the week, so I'm almost at my Friday, but I'll probably work through the weekend anyway. So I'm at Pulte Homes doing it's not a pre-draw, I'm sorry. It's a final inspection for one of our clients. They're getting ready to do their final walkthrough. And what I'm gonna do this time, I'm gonna rate the house at the end. That way you guys know what my thoughts are as far as the builders now, because what I'm noticing is trends of different builders are doing different things, the quality of work, the workmanship that they're doing. Actually, it really boils down to the contractors, the subs they're using. And if you don't know that, if subs mess up on the job, if they forget something, if they don't do something correctly, then that sub actually has money taken off the end of the job for their final project. So it behooves them to get the project correctly done. And that way the builder doesn't have to keep going back, calling, making phone calls. So that's the way the builder, they do checks and balances to make sure things are going good. You guys can't see that logo, but I just wanted to make, because I don't have a logo on the show. I'm still in vacation mode. But yeah, so that's what they're doing with the contractors. So for you guys to know, when the contractors mess up, the builder goes back to the contractor. Hey, you missed X, Y, Z. We're going to take off $300-400 for the job because we got to keep calling you back. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pause the video, go through, show you something, and at the end of my inspection, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna say, hey, I rate this house as such and such. And remember, this is a Pulte home. I'm up in Kennesaw. It's funny because this same floor plan is actually on the south side in Peachtree City. I did the exact same house for another customer. I won't say their name. Maybe they'll watch the video and see, but it's kind of a very similar thing. So I'm thinking it may be the same contractor. So kind of check it out. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll go from there. All right, so stand by. Okay, so right now I'm in the laundry room, and really, I try to pay particular attention to the floor, because one thing about laundry rooms, the washer will sometimes leak. And if it leaks, you got to make sure that the floor is somewhat sealed to try to prevent water to go onto the first floor. So I want to check this out to show you guys what's going on with this. Whoever is the flooring guy is they're not really on my best list right now. So here is a spot where they cut the floor too short. So now that trim will have to come up. They'll have to pull that towel up to make that right. So if we go all the way around, we can see where the floor is just not looking good. So I'm going to recommend this floor be pulled up and redone. And if the builder does it or not, it's really up to the builder and the contractor, but I don't really see how they're going to be able to fix this and make it look good without going with larger shoe molding to try to cover that deficiency up. But I'm going to recommend that to make sure that that my buyer is fully protected when they move in. You can see around the drywall around the electrical box is not cut properly. They should have cut that up in there. These screw holes, the drywall can be cut right up in there, and that way the box will fit over that. That's why the box is oversized. So if you mess up, your deficiency can be up in here rather than it being out here. So somebody just didn't know how to cut the hole properly. So we're gonna make sure that's annotated. Drain is good. They don't have the knockout hole in the drain plug. So we're gonna recommend, that's very simple. This needs to be sealed. So I always pull these off just to make sure that you kind of see what I see. So we don't want any air gaps leaking through there. So we want to make sure that's all sealed up, make sure the drain plug's pulled, and that way the customer don't have to knock that out when they move into the home. All right, moving on to the next room. Okay, we're in the master right now. I got the tub running. First thing I noticed is the shower door. Whoever put the shower in, they actually probably just did it. So they're trying to make sure that caulk is dry. But when I walk up on this, what I'm looking for is to make sure the glass is not cracked in the corners. Make sure the caulking is actually presented. Is not. You can kind of see on this side, they did not do any caulking. And so if somebody pushes on that, then the glass could probably start to give a little bit. So we don't want that. They only got the caulking on one side. You can see it from the inside. They didn't caulk the outside. So that just looks a little tacky. And they didn't use, they just put the caulking on there. They didn't even run it down with their finger. All right, looking at the ceiling, the tile is just not even. The corners are not even. You can see where the gaps. They didn't use spacers to get the angles correct. Up here in that corner, you can see the grout is just way too. It's just too much grout in this side here, and not enough grout in that side. So the tile is just not even. So either the wall is not plumb, or the tile guy just did not. He didn't cut right. He didn't measure right, and he didn't get it. It just doesn't look good. So put that in the report. To make sure that's good. That's a nice little rain head. Like what I try not to do is I try not to be so critical of the home like I'm moving in the home. Sometimes I can look at things like, ugh, I don't like that, I don't like this, but it's not my house. My job is just to do the inspection. So I don't really try to look at aesthetics or fixtures or elegance of the home. I just look at it from the standpoint of inspecting. Like this actually came with no ceiling fans. So it's pretty standard, pretty basic as far as that goes. So no fixtures in any rooms. So the client's gonna have to take care of that. All right, this room, you can see right here, this tile is not mounted to anything. So that needs to be taken care of. Grout right here. So this needs to be caulked rather than grout. They need to caulk that trim, and actually the tile is cut too short, so that needs to be taken care of as well. All right, this is a simple little thing, but you can see when I plug it in, my ground is at the top, and the ground should be at the bottom. Most inspectors will notate that. That's not really a biggie. So we want to make sure that gets flipped around, and that's in this family room here. Nice size family room. Okay, guys, so we're downstairs and looking at the kitchen area. So one thing that I always like to point out is the outlets. Try to be uniform, and this outlet here is halfway installed on the tile. So that wasn't moved over far enough, so they need to move this outlet over in order to keep that off of the tile. That doesn't look good. So we want to try to make sure that everything's uniform and following this correct pattern. Always check the cabinets just to make sure that no major scratches. So these cabinets will need to be touched up a little bit. We got like little scratches here and there. You can kind of see if I shadow that, you can see that scratch on that side. So we'll hit that. The cooktop is not caulked at the bottom of the oven, so that I can move that with my hand. So if you're like cooking spaghetti or got some hot water on, water can seep up under your cooktop and run to the bottom of the cabinet, and you'll never know it until you actually pull this cabinet out. And this, you would have to, it'll come all the way out, but you just don't want anything to leak up under there, to make sure that you can't see it. And the vent fan is not, you can't really see it by looking at it with the phone, but right here, we can tell that on this side is lower and this side is higher. So it's not really sitting even as you look at it. So we want to make sure that the builder is aware of that. And at the top, you got little cracks up there around the drywall. That needs to be grouted. Look like they used paint, tried to go up against that with paint. And I'm gonna recommend that the grout be used up against it, and that way it won't continue to crack. Grout and then caulking around the ceiling. But sometimes we'll lead them in the right way, but most builders really know what to do when it comes to doing their repairs. They're pretty abreast in taking care of those items. In this room here, I hate that they don't have fixtures in these rooms. It's like, it just makes it that much harder to inspect when you don't have light fixtures. This room was okay. I'm gonna take you guys to the garage next. So I'll show you guys the neighborhood. It's like the last house on the block. So I don't know if they're rushing or what to get finished. Maybe they got another area they gotta go to, but they got things to do. So looking at the garage, you can see from the outside, they need to put a window in there. Around this garage door, we got trim that's cracked. Flashing, it's okay right here, but at the top, it needs to be caulked to make sure water's not running back behind that flashing and hitting the corner, kind of like this right here. And if water hits that corner, it can roll up under there and cause wood rot. 3 years from now, you got to replace all of the hardy plank just because they didn't put caulking. You know, a tube of caulking is like $3. Caulking right here on the sides. You don't want any infection, termites, or you don't want to get any type of bugs up in between that caulking around the light fixtures. That's something that new construction should always do to make sure that you don't have bugs. Caulking around the trim. And the porch was not finished, and they need to paint it. So I don't know why they ripped some of the hardy plank out. Maybe they did something wrong, but you know, you just never know with new construction. So right here, you can see a gap at the top. So this, I don't know why that is bowing like that, but that board needs to be, it's either warped or it needs to, it's stuck on something. It's just hard for me to say without actually getting up there, like investigating it. But my job is to catch it. It's not really to repair. So they just put this this mortar around the bricks that wasn't installed like correctly. It just doesn't look good. And that's like cosmetic stuff. You know, we don't hit on a lot of that, but we will put it in the report. FYI, like around here, it just doesn't look good. So, you know, like I say, if I was purchasing this house, I would want it done properly. Like here, it's already starting to crack. So that tells me that they did this mortar after the brick was already done, and they tried to, you know, match it up to make it look good. But, you know, once something is already dry, it's just really hard to come back and redo it. So they'll have to break all that stuff out of there and redo it, make it look better. Caulking around the door frame. And these are all little things, you know, that's what we want in new construction is little items. We don't want a bunch of items where it's gonna cost a bunch of time before closing, re-inspections and all of that. We want like caulking here, trim here, little stuff like that. We don't want to have to come back and inspect for new tile, and because that just makes it that much harder for the customer to get into the home. And this just doesn't look good. Like here again, we got the trim, the flashing. This actually, it elbows behind this wall, and it goes up to about right there, and that way that water can weep down the flashing and come out the front of it. But I want to see that that caulk to make sure that that water is not running behind this trim. Like when you have a cut piece like this, you don't want water running up behind there and hidden behind the brick. So other than that, you know, the house is it's in pretty good shape. But so back to what we was talking about as far as me rating the house. Let me make sure I can get back in this backyard without falling. So overall, you know, like I say, this is a Pulte home, and usually when I do a new construction, I like to see it almost pretty much 90 to 95% done. And this house to me is about 85%. A lot of the stuff, maybe and I give them a fair rating because one, they knew that I was coming. They knew they asked for my credentials. They knew the inspection was scheduled. So therefore, you had the opportunity to get everything taken care of. And the client is in communication with him, so he knew it was a lot of things that need to be taken care of. But overall, Pulte home, this home in Kennesaw, I rated a 5, and that's non-negotiable. So if anybody has a home they want me to rate or look at and just see what our thoughts are, if you want us to do a final inspection on your home, give us a call. Melvin with Integrity and Home Inspection. We'll take care of your needs. Service with peace of mind. Y'all have a great day.